So I just started the recording session. So now let's start the class proper. So last week we discussed various penetration testing tools and the various security tools. Today we're going to look at one of the most important tools called SIM tools. Yes, many of you might have come across the SIM tools and be wondering what is actually the SIM tools. What do they use it for? Yes, I believe you have gone through these documents, but let me bring out some of the silent points that was not mentioned in the document. Yes, SIM tools is software application that collect and analyze log data to monitor critical activities or security activities of an organization. I take it again. I said that SIM tools, as the name implies, SIM stands for Security Information and Event Management Tools. That is SIM. So SIM tools is a software application that collects and analyzes log data to monitor critical activities of an organization. Now, the question you might be wondering, you want to ask is, what is log data? Because if you look at here, you see that we have event correlation, we have real-time monitoring, we then have log management. So what is log? Because log was not mentioned here. So now when we talk about log data, we're talking about a record of an event that happened or occur in an organizational system. Now we have three types of log data, log rather. We have three types of log. We have firewalls logs, we have network logs, we have server logs. Now firewalls log implies all the activities or the network or data system that enter and leave, all the record of security activities of firewalls that the network takes record of. Like for example, now if you say you set up a firewalls for a system, say for example a Leon Global have a website, right? They put on their firewalls. Now they put on the firewalls. Now this firewalls is taking a record when a system enters or trying to bypass or trying to enter into the network. The job of the firewall is to filter that network to make sure that this network was actually pre-configured to enter into that network. So now that record will be recorded, that movement or that traffic will be recorded. Now at the end of the day, it will now form what we call firewalls log. Now this is what you use SIM tools to analyze. Now it is when an organization set up a SIM tools, you use it to analyze the record of events from different logs, say from firewalls, from server, from network. Now when we talk about network logs, we are talking about all the networks or devices that enter and leave that network. Take for example, as we'll be going to ASU tomorrow, when you get to ASU, you see that they have a centralized server, and all those servers are connected. Sorry, all the systems are connected to that server. Now, if for example now say they are taking CBT exam, the firewall, sorry, all the systems students will start in their various systems. It is what the server gives out. That is what will display to all the system uniformly. Do you understand? Now, the other system now, we can say that they are now connected on the network that runs that server. So the network server now take into account, sorry, the network log now take into account all the system that is connected in that H2 server, for example, as we're using it for example. So when all these things happen, if there's any breach, now it is your duty as a security analyst to use SIM tools to now analyze, because this data have already been collected by the letter. Like if you look at the second district, if you look at here, you say log management. It says SIM tool system can collect and store log data from variety of sources. So now, when you now collect all those network data, It is the duty of the SIM tool to you now use it to analyze, because it has been collected, so that you check, was there anybody that log in, how many people log into the network, and when and how, who leave, and when did they leave. So all those things is what the SIM help us to do. Now, like we said, we also have several logs. These are three types of logs. I know that if you have been watching your video on the Coursera, right, you might have gone to this, maybe you've not gotten to this extent, but I will encourage all of us to always watch that video. And as you're watching, take records, write down whatever it is that you don't understand. When we come to class, you ask your questions. Like this class, and after this segment, I will open the floor for all of us to ask questions, whatever question that anything that I don't understand, I will explain it. So I believe we are good in these symptoms. So now, moving on, we have different types of, like we mentioned, different types of logs. We mentioned different means in which information are being collected. Now let's look at real tools that log examples. Like we have Splunk Enterprise. I know many of you might have come across Splunk. Splunk is a cloud-based SIM solution that provides real-time security analysis and reporting. So it's just like for example, how these things look like, just like your weather app, right? If you have a weather app in your phone, when you log that weather app, it will tell you the weather of a particular city, tell you the centigrade, tell you where rain will fall and stuff like that. That's how these Splunk are configured. That's how they are designed. They are GUI, that's graphical user interface. They have graphical user interface. So when you click there, when you set it up, like most banks, most organizations, they have it. That's what they use to monitor their network. In fact, somebody will be in a remote location, monitoring what is going on, and be informing that branch that there is a problem. So when there is a network hitches, it will be recorded. The log data that have been configured, network log will collect all those data. So the security analyst as an administrator will go straight to that network logs and then use Splunk to analyze, to know where the critical issues comes in, and then be able to provide solution. And let me say this: in cybersecurity, you have the blue teams. Yes, you have the blue teams. The duty of the blue teams, they are mostly the one that use this log data. SIM tools. Now their job is to monitor the network and then provide solution. In fact, as in, they will have to wait till attack happens. That is their job. So that is their job. Then meanwhile, I belong to the right team. The right team, our duty is to fend the network. So we fend, just like when you are looking for trouble, you go and cause trouble. And then when you cause that trouble, you wait and wonder whether this person can retaliate. What kind of weapon is this person coming with? So if you notice that your weapon is, as in the weapon is coming, is not that strong, you now look for areas of vulnerability, and from there you attack. That is what the right team do. So the right team look at vulnerability in the system by offending it. Then we will know whether this thing was configured very well. Then we will offend it. When it is being offended, we can now spot the vulnerability and from there penetrate. Now the whole lesson is to make that system stronger, because if you don't attack it as a security expert for the organization, and criminals end up attacking that system, then you know that that system is in jeopardy. So that's why we have the offensive and defensive. So the blue team defends. So when attack happens, it is their job to start looking for. So these SIM tools provide them the knowledge of how and where and what really happened. I don't know whether it is clear. If it is not clear, maybe you put down your question at the end of the class, you ask a question. So now, moving on to virtual private network, VPNs. So many people are using VPN and they say they want to use it to do this. So what is actually the job of VPN? Now, let me tell you why people use VPN. The whole essence of VPN is what we call encapsulation. Encapsulation, I will put it in the chat. Now, encapsulation is what is a kind of a wrap or a system that provides You know, it's a system that provide. Okay, let me explain it. Let me use, for example, what will I use? Okay, let me use tablets, the drugs you take, for example. Now, if you notice that when you go to a pharmacy, or when pharmacists went to buy drugs from pharmaceutical companies, that those drugs, they are being put inside a carton. Now, inside that carton, they are also being put inside a cart, inside this thing, a pack. Now, inside that pack, they are put it inside a kind of a tab, that wraps up the this thing. So you will discover that for you to have access to, say, a card, you have to a tablet, you might have broken into maybe 10, sorry, 3 or 4 a carton or something like that before you can be able to have access to that tablet or capsule to swallow. So that is what encapsulation does in VPN. So it provides a wrap. So it wraps the original packet. Remember I explained packet earlier, but tomorrow, I think tomorrow class I will explain packet data very well, and then tell us how it operates. So it provides a wrap. It wraps your packet data. When it wraps it with another packet and now put it inside other packets. So when it happens, the essence is when the data is in traffic, is in transit, nobody will have access to that, to have access to your original information. That is the job of VPN. That is where encryption. Those are the encryption. That is, when you talk about encryption, that it is because of that encapsulation. If not of encapsulation, there's nothing like VPN. So that is what the encryption you use does. So when you say this thing have been encrypted, it is called encapsulation because it is being wrapped. The packet data is wrapped in another packet that cannot be seen. So when that happens, the people who provide VPN as a service will now, shift it to any location, give you any location. So I mean, they can maybe the proxy a packet which they use to wrap the original packet. They can decide to locate it in USA. So your location will be in USA. So these are the things that make VPN a very solid tool. I hope that is clear. So we have, let's move on. I believe you read all this because I don't want to be explaining them word by word. So we are going to look at areas that. So now, email security gateway. Why are we discussing it? So many times when we talk about social engineering, phishing attack, these things happen mostly through emails. Imagine you are working in an organization and a colleague sent a mail to you through using original email, using your company email rather, and sent it to you. Now, when that happens, the possibility of that mail being compromised is there. And when it happens, if you download, assuming it contains a malware, and you download it, that system has been corrupted. And not just your system, they will infiltrate into the network of the bank, of the organization. From there now, attack, either ransomware or spyware, whatever they have been configured. So email security now provides what we call spam filtering. You filter it, anti-phishing, anti-malware, data loss prevention. All of these are being embedded so that the email will have a sound and solid security to protect the organization from malicious attack. Now, let me lay emphasis on this network access control. When we talk about network access, now every manufacturer of hardware, be it phones, laptop, provide what we call NAC, network access control. Now this NAC make it easier for a device to discover the next device, because if you go to your phone, like I said earlier, if you go to about phone, you will see your MAC address, your IP address rather, and also the MAC address. There is also this MAC address is what we call media access control. It is the number, hardware number, and that number is permanent. Your IP address can change, but you see your MAC address is permanent with that device. Do you understand? So if you have network mode established with the other device, it is through this MAC address. So it is embedded in hardware. So it grants access to the other, to grant you access to have access to other media, access to other devices in the network. Cloud security. Sorry for that network breaking transmission. So sorry for that network break. So, like I was saying, a lot of you will become cloud security experts. Now, why cybersecurity is very, very important is because most times it gives, not just most time, all the time, it gives opportunity for anyone to choose a niche or a kind of path, a career path, and concentrate there and grow and become who that person always wished to become. So now, if you look at this class security, you will see that class security simply means providing a comprehensive, in fact, it's a kind of comprehensive set of tools, that is designed to protect cloud-based infrastructure, application, and data from cyber threats. Now, there are people who have over the years grow to understand how cloud functions, and then their job is to provide cloud security to it. And when they do, we call them cloud security engineers. So, like I said earlier, we have various domains in cybersecurity. We have, like I said, we have the blue team, we have the red team, we have the pen tester, ethical hackers. We also have class security. We have, governance and risk analysts. So it depends on the area you want to choose. So, like some organization uses cloud, based infrastructure or cloud traditional infrastructure to provide, what you see. Like even like banks, network provider, they use cloud. Now, what are these things that are in the cloud? For example, think for a moment. Majority of us now uses Google Drive to save one or two documents, online. That Google Drive is a good example of cloud-based infrastructure. Now, imagine for a moment if there is a security breach from Google Cloud, and then you begin to imagine number of data that will leak from there. So it is their duty as cloud security analysts to do what? To provide tailored and professional security management to ensure that the infrastructures, the containers, the data that are being stored in the cloud are saved. So most organizations do what we call hybrid cloud environment. Hybrid cloud environment means when an organization they have their switches, their hub, they have those things in a remote location, and then uses cloud, saving some files in the cloud. So you can call it hybrid because they have some infrastructure that is saved in a very remote area. Meanwhile, they still save, some data or some of their distance in the cloud. So it's hybrid. Do you understand? And so many organizations does that today. So cloud security is very, very important. Now let's progress because we have a lot to look at. I want you to read more on this If you have any question on class security, I think there is one of your module that discuss about it. So what other tools are we looking at? Security awareness training. Many organizations provide security awareness. In fact, one of the key areas, in cybersecurity is you can, even if you don't know how to use those tools or you don't want to go deeper, you can become a security educationist. So it's also a kind of tool, because there you create awareness. You help people, you teach people about some security threats, some what we call landscape, a threat landscape. Threat that is prevalent in a particular environment or country. You understand? Like today in Nigeria, we talk about Yahoo Yahoo. Even worse people who don't know what it is, they just know that Yahoo Yahoo is all about fraud. So that is a good example of threat landscape. So we can now be able to know that, oh, this people does this, and this is what is prevalent in this particular geographical area. So anyone who does that belongs to, you can call it cybersecurity educationist. It's also a very good, unit or career path. So let's look at the main aspects, because now when we begin to talk about these tools, you may be wondering, these tools, how am I going to get to use to them? Am I going to learn anything to do about it? It's too difficult. No, we are taking it bit by bit, step by step. And the reason why I started with tools is so that, because if you are going to work, for example, I want to go to market, you want to go and learn work, when you come to where you are learning work, you have to start interacting with tools. So knowledge of these tools will help you prepare your mind when you begin to know how they are being used, and then when you now begin to use them. From there, you already know that, oh, you've been hearing this, and so finally, so the thing will easily flow in your learning memory. So hypervisual. So why are we discussing? Every laptop have what we call hypervisual. Now this hypervisual is what make it easier for you or for any a PC to be able to run a different virtual machines on them. So when you if you're coming tomorrow, come with your laptop. Then when you come with your laptop, so that you can be able to, I will show you how to do it. But let me just, because I can't shut down this system now to show you. But when you on your system, you go to, when you on your system, before it will boot into the window, you click start up. It will not take you, it will boot into the bio. Then you go to the bio and then you search for hypervisual and enable it. When you enable it, you can press yes to exist. Then when you exist, you can now enter, but it will now boot into your window. Now when you install virtual machine, with the help of the hypervisual, your system can now function properly. You can now use virtual machine to run. That is, virtual machine enable you to have different windows on your laptop. That is the duty. That's why every hardware, every PC come with hypervisual. Some are not enabled, some are enabled, some are enabled by default. So you can just enable it. That is the duty and the job of hypervisual. So the next we will look at is virtual VMware workstation. Yes, this VMware workstation makes life easier. In fact, with VMware, you can comfortably run. Show us with my machine. This is. Let me see if I can. Okay. Let me share. So. Let me show us. Good. So this is. I hope you can all see my system. Yes, if you can see my screen now, is resting on VMware. Is resting. In fact, is on VMware. If you are looking at this This is a VMware, and this Kali, as you know, Kali is an operating system. I just say, let me show us. Let's go back to the segment and then continue. So, what is the job of the VMware? The virtual machine where VMware Workstation is a very powerful virtualization software that allows users to run multiple operating systems on a single physical machine. It enables users to create, manage. So, for example, now I have my window. Like now we are on my window, and here now, if I click the other side, I will go to another. I will go to my Kalininos, which is a different OS. Do you understand? So it is as a result of virtual VMware Workstation. So this enables you to put various virtual machines which you can use to carry out your job. And as a security, something that you must have. In fact, you always have to do it because it's a fun to do. So why are we discussing this VMware? Because that is what we'll be using. In fact, starting from tomorrow, a lot of you will see how this thing functions. You understand? So we are almost at the end. Like if you can see the features of the VMware. You can run your Windows, Linux, macOS, and both are based operating systems. So this, in fact, it makes life easier anyway. So tomorrow we will look at it. Most of you that have system will come along. I will help you to see what we can do. So now these are the major tools. These are the major tools to focus on. These are major tools like Bob Suite, Mmap scanner, and Wireshark, OZAP, and stuff like that. So now let's go to my Kali. Let me show you my this thing. I just hope that there is no hitches, and there is no complaint. If there's any, please drop a comment on the channel. I will see it and respond. So let's okay. Let me log into my Kali so that you can see how this Bob Suite. At least most of you will see how it goes. Bob Suite, Mmap, and stuff like that. And Wireshark. These are the major tools. In fact, let me explain. Bob Suite. We use Bob Suite to we use Bob Suite to do carry out penetration testing. In fact, we use Bob Suite to carry out an attack. Let me put it that way. Like when we talk about interception attack, man in the middle, it is Bob Suite. When we talk about Mmap use it to scan a network. So let me just show us one or two, because if the time permits, so that we can be able to, have a clue of how these things works. Let me show us. Okay, here is my Kali. Let me log in. Good. So I will call up my Kali. Let me call Bob, my Oga Bob. I like this tool so much because it makes life easier. You can just stay here and take something that is. So let me call it up. It is loading. So when it finish loading, I will show us one or two so that you can be able to see, these tools are not just the normal tool you see. These are powerful tools that experts use to do their work. It's loading. Let it load up. It is loading. Let me call another one. Let me call. What is happening? Okay, Bob is coming. It's coming up. Okay. So when the bulb finish loading, I will call the other one. Why is it delayed? Okay. Okay. So let's wait a little. Let it load. It's loading. I did not shut down this thing properly when I was working on it. That's you. Which is okay. So here is the bulb. I believe you all can see my screen. Okay. So in this bulb now, let me just explain it in a jiffy. Now this if you look at it, say live passive call from proxy or traffic. So this is the dashboard. Now this is the target. For example, now we know what sitemap is. Sitemap display information about content of your target application along with any issues that have been discovered. Now, if I open a browser, if I open this browser, if I click open browser, anything I type, it will show here. I will use this place to manipulate it. Like for example, this is proxy. Now, if I type, say I want to type who is Sophia, is Sophia a female? I will use this my what is it called, my box to intercept that packet that I submitted over the net, or maybe if it's somebody else, I'll intercept it. The question is Sophia a female? Now, when I submit it on the browser, and I want to get the information. Maybe I want Google to give me the answer. Yes, Sophia is a female name, or blah 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 blah. Now I can use my box to intercept that packet. Now when I intercept it, I will now change it to yes, Sophia is not a female, or is a female but it's a very dangerous name or stuff like that. Maybe write something, and then the other person that's supposed to receive this information, supposed to see it here. Yes, Sophia is a female, is this and blah 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 on a normal setting. But instead, you will now be seeing my own record, my own response, because it has been intercepted. That's what this is it. Interception. Intercept is off. So this is where an attack, manipulations go on. This happen in real life. All those things you see, they will tell you this person have attacked this. It is these tools that they use to carry out this. So I will closing the bulb. Let me close it, and then now if you want to close, like when I will teach you, you don't go and close it immediately. You come back to your this thing, column on here, Control V. Play. When you type this, it will play. Though we're still going to learn this command line because it's a very powerful way of learning. So going on, let me also see that is Bob. We are done with Bob. Let's look at other this thing. That is Bob. So I've shut down Bob. Let's look at, say, what is the next? Which one is there? Okay, mmap. Good. So I don't have any IP. Which IP will I use as an example? Okay. Last time I used a real life IP, so which is against the ethics of cybersecurity. That thing can cost me a lifetime imprisonment. So let me use I have a test IP. Let me see if I can use it, because you can't call up mmap without using this thing. Let me say let me get an IP and use it to there's IP I was working on. Let me get it. I just want to show us how these things function so that you can have, a very clear knowledge. So this is so this is a test. What are you showing this? Hold on. Please, I will have to avoid mmap because I don't have IP that I can use. Let's look at Wireshark. Good, Wireshark. I don't want to use IP that will cause problem. Let's look at Wireshark. So I will come to him and type Wireshark. So, Wireshark. So Wireshark will load up. I believe you can see the screen. Okay, we are now in Wireshark. So Wireshark is a very powerful tool. In fact, it's one of the most lovable tools. Wireshark now, like for example, now if you can see this play, you see that it's actually already communicating my IP. Like for example, if I click this open, let me open it so I can see. So this is what we call network communication. This thing are the networks that is communicating to this is my device now I'm using now. You can see what they are doing. It's telling me, like now, it's telling me communicating. If you look at this is protocol, which we will discuss. The protocol means the protocol they are passing. If you look at this protocol, you are seeing TCP, TSL, TCP, TCP. TCP means transmission control protocol. So this is how Wireshark. I can now come here and click stop. I will click stop. Now it has stopped capturing the packet. So it is time for analysis. You can now begin to analyze. So these are powerful tools you use to analyze network and stuff. I know I'm taking you too far, but I just want us to have this, idea so that by the time we're going further, it will make more sense. It will make more sense. So I believe that we've been able to establish how these things function. I believe we've done our best. So, like, okay, Zap. I did not call Zap. Let me call Zap. Zap is one of the most. Oh my goodness. Let me call Zap. Zap. Real quick. Zap. Who's this? Let's look at Zap before we wrap it up. Before we wrap up this segment. So this is Zap. Zap is going to load up. When it load up, we're going to see it. So Zap is going to load up. Let's give it a time to load. So these are powerful tools that you are going to work with. No, I don't want people to get scared or want to get carried away. But before you get to the point of using these tools, I will ensure that you understand first what network and network security is. How are these things communicating? What are they communicating? And how can you be able to interpret, understand, analyze, and know when and what is all about, what all this is doing? So that is the job I'm going to be doing within these 3 months. So, but why I'm showing you these tools, so that at least you can be able to know that, you've seen it before, and this is what it does. At least by the time we'll go deeper into the class or into the section, we will now begin to see the beauty of cybersecurity as a penetration. For those that want to be a penetration tester, as want to, become expert in it, or those who want to focus on cloud. Even if in cloud, you still need these tools to analyze the network. is a powerful tool. No matter how highly placed you are in cybersecurity, these tools must be, in fact, they must be in your toolbox, and you will love them. So this is ZAP. Now, I don't have sight. So this is ZAP. If in this ZAP, this is where you carry out your hacking. Let me. This is automation. If I click this place now, I will put in. Okay, is there anyone that can give us a website? Let's just see if we can. Please, if you are giving us a website, make sure it is not a live website, because we are going to hack it now as in real life. You see the vulnerability. Though, funny enough, it's only me that knows where the vulnerability is. So, is there anyone that can give us a website? Let us use it to test ZAP. Let us use it to see how ZAP function. Anyone? Okay. So let me close ZAP because I don't have a website I want to use. So, but this is the ZAP interface. Why I'm showing you all of this is for us to have the knowledge and also to know how these things work. But I'm going to use it to carry out real analysis or real simulation, so that we can be able to see, wow, this thing. So today is to show you, as we mention it on the document, so that you will see that they really exist, and this is where to how to locate them. So I will close up by doing Control Z, Control V on my Kali to close, then clear to clear everything. So I hope we are fine now. So let me return back to my to our days. Cybersecurity tools. So that is that for now. I want to start taking questions. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. So I want to start answering your questions, and I will stop the recording also. Let me stop the recording.